The rain hadn't stopped since the funeral. It fell in a steady, endless rhythm, tapping against my windows like it had something to say, but I wasn't ready to listen. The house felt too quiet, too still, as if the world itself had paused out of respect for a man who would never walk these streets again. Mr. Karim had been more than just a neighbor. He was routine, familiarity, the friendly voice that called out, "Good morning," even on the hardest days. The man who fixed my broken gate without asking for anything in return. The one who always seemed to know when someone needed help, before they even said a word. And now his house next door was dark, empty. I hadn't turned on the lights in my living room. Just the kitchen lamp glowed faintly as I poured myself a cup of tea I didn't really want. My hands moved out of habit, not intention. Grief does that. It turns you into a ghost inside your own life. Then came the knock. Soft, almost unsure. I froze, the cup halfway to my lips. Another knock followed, slightly louder but still hesitant, like whoever stood outside was debating whether to leave. I set the cup down slowly and walked to the door, my heartbeat quickening with each step. When I opened it, the cold air rushed in first. Then I saw her, Mrs. Karim. She stood there in the rain, her black dress clinging to her frame, her hair damp and unkempt. Her eyes were swollen, red from crying, but it wasn't just grief in them. It was something deeper, something fragile. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't know where else to go." For a moment, I didn't respond, not because I didn't want to, but because I suddenly understood what it must have taken for her to walk across that yard alone. "You don't have to apologize," I said gently, stepping aside. "Please, come in." She hesitated at the doorway, her eyes scanning the inside of my home like it was unfamiliar territory. Then she stepped in slowly, almost carefully, as if crossing that threshold meant accepting a reality she wasn't ready for. I grabbed a towel and held it out to her. She looked at it, but didn't take it. Instead, her gaze drifted around the room. "It's so quiet," she whispered. I swallowed, unsure how to respond, because she was right. Without him, everything was. I didn't open the envelope right away. It sat in my hands, heavier than paper should ever feel, as if whatever was inside carried more than just ink and words. Across from me, Mrs. Karim watched in silence, her fingers tightly intertwined, her eyes fixed on the envelope like it might change everything the moment I broke the seal. "Maybe we should wait," I said quietly, though I wasn't sure what we'd be waiting for. She shook her head, her voice trembling but certain. "He trusted you. There must be a reason." That was enough. I exhaled slowly and slid my finger under the seal. The tear of paper sounded louder than it should have in the quiet room. Inside there was a folded letter, and something small attached to it. A key, old, slightly rusted, the kind you don't see much anymore. "What is that?" she whispered, leaning forward. "I'm not sure," I replied, my voice low as I unfolded the letter. The handwriting hit me first. Neat, steady, familiar. It felt like he was in the room with us again. If you're reading this, then I didn't get the chance to explain things myself. A chill ran down my spine. I continued reading, each word pulling me deeper into something I didn't yet understand. There's something I've kept hidden for years. Not from you, but from everyone. I thought I was protecting you both. I paused, glancing up at her. Her face had gone pale. "Protecting us," she murmured. I looked back down. The key opens a locker at the old train station. Number 27. Inside, you'll find what I couldn't bring myself to destroy. Destroy? My grip tightened on the paper. Why would he need to destroy anything? I'm sorry for the burden, but if anyone can understand, it's you. That was it. No explanation, no details, just a mystery placed directly into our hands. The room felt colder somehow. "We have to go," she said suddenly. I looked toward the window. The rain was still pouring, the wind rattling faintly against the glass. "Now? What if it's important?" she said, her voice breaking slightly. "What if this is the reason he—" She couldn't finish. I didn't argue. 10 minutes later, we were in my car, the engine humming as we drove through empty, rain-soaked streets. The old train station stood at the edge of town, abandoned for years, forgotten by most. But not by him. We found the lockers along a dim, flickering wall. Number 27. My hands trembled as I inserted the key. For a second, nothing happened. Then, click, the sound echoed. I pulled the door open slowly. Inside sat a small, worn box. I lifted it out, my pulse racing, and opened it carefully. Photos. Documents. And right on top, a picture. Mr. Kareem, standing beside a man I recognized instantly. My breath caught, because the man next to him was my father. I looked at her, my voice barely a whisper. I think this secret was never just his. And in that moment, the past came rushing back, louder than the storm outside.